welcome to my morning talk. Ooh. There's a lot of stuff that I wanted to get into today. I have still been sort of struggling on my weight loss, but I will say that I'm not gaining any weight. I've been doing good about that. I didn't want to talk too much about that today, though. But to finish up that thought, which was extremely short, I'm doing a fast today, and I'm also going to go to an ecstatic dance with my wife because I know that that's something that she really, really appreciates in life is ecstatic dance, just movement. And this might be a little bit of a longer video, but I wanted to get a lot of thoughts out. So, something about relationships that I've been with my wife for like 13 years now, and something that I've learned over the 13 years is that each person is their own individual, right? So you have your own interests, and you do things that you both individually like. You may not care to do certain things, right? So like for me, for instance, I do like dance, and there are times that I love dance. There's certain ways in which I wish to express my dance. Ecstatic dance has not been something that like I enjoy it. It's not that I don't enjoy it, but it's like I normally do dance at music festivals, and that's my preferred outlet for dance. But yeah, and then like say some of my hobbies, the actual hobbies that I enjoy are like fishing, hunting, rock climbing, getting hyper fixated on a new thing that I want to do. I don't know, archery, stuff like that. Like, and then mechanics. So like everybody has their own hobbies that they enjoy, right? And one thing about a relationship is even if you think that something that your partner does is weird, or that you don't think that you would enjoy doing it, I think it's important to show up for those things, even if you don't care for it. And you don't have to show up all the time, so that's not what I'm getting at. But even if you don't care for it, even if you voice that you don't care for it, even if you desperately don't want to do it. show effort in the relationship, and there's like a balance, right? So your partner, wife, husband, whatever, they might go by themselves. Like they may have a hobby that they enjoy doing that they want to go by themselves with, right? But I also think that there's things that you both should do together. So like for me, for instance, I think that, Raven wants to go and dance by herself. And she does sometimes, but I didn't realize this until we talked about it a lot, but she actually enjoys going to dance with me specifically. And I am not trying to put words in her mouth, but I believe it's because she feels comfortable with me. And sometimes you don't want to dance with other people, you just want to dance with your partner. And that makes complete sense to me. And again, I do enjoy dance. But again, I normally feel most comfortable in very specific situations, like festivals. That's where I like to dance. But I am choosing to dance today because I want to show up for not just my partner, but for myself as well, but mainly for my partner. I think it's important to do things that you don't really care to do, that your partner does enjoy doing. Not, you don't have to go all the time, but just, put in that effort to go. I think that's important. Good bit of relationship advice. Do things together, even if you don't really care to do them. And especially if you don't know if you like to do them. I think that's important too. Try it out. Try something together. And you may enjoy it, and it may become a hobby that both of you do. Oh, I guess I can bring up a little mini subject with that. So, I have been wanting to meet more friends, right? More people that I can consider my friends. And something that's been bothering me over the past, I don't know, I would say 5 years or so, is it's almost difficult to find friends. Like people that, well, in the place that I live, there's not really a whole lot of people around. Not many people that, not the type of people that I would consider myself being around. We don't really live extremely close to the areas where we could find people to be friends with, right? But one thing that I've noticed is that there's like a big lack of third places. And what I mean by that is, you're not at work, you're not at school. It's trying to find outlets for activities, per se, where you can meet up with friends, right? Like, when I was younger, I didn't really have like a quote-unquote third place that I would normally regulate, but there was a lot more of them. And examples of this are like, going to karate or Boy Scouts or, and that these are my examples, but yeah, karate, Boy Scouts, doing like summer sports type stuff, roller skating, ice skating, like those type of things, right? Everybody knows. I hope everybody knows what I mean, especially if you're around my age group or even older. And that's a bit disheartening, really, because I think because of our devices, our phones, the internet, we've separated a lot from individual people, and it's made it harder to meet people specifically. And I will say, since I started rock climbing, I've met more people since I started just going out, even to restaurants. Like, there's somebody that we're going to be hanging out with hopefully this weekend. I believe that we're actually going to make it happen this time. But there was 4 of us, me, my wife, my cousin, and one of our friends that we met a while ago through Sleep Token means. And we went to a restaurant because we were about to go to a Sleep Token concert, and we went and ate at this restaurant, and the waitress, beautiful person, she she started talking to us, and she actually went up to my wife, which I really respected this, but went up to my wife and was like, hey, I like your guys' vibe and everything, and can I get your husband's number so that I can, keep in contact with you guys? Like, I want to hang out with you guys. You guys seem awesome. And I loved that. I absolutely loved that, because normally we don't have people like asking our information, right? But anyway, I don't know, that was just exciting. And that was just a restaurant, but it was somebody that put out the effort to want to hang out with us, and has continued. We still haven't hung out with them, and it's been a while. I don't remember when that Sleep Token concert was. It was months ago, probably like 5 or 6 months ago, but they've continued to put out the effort to want to try and hang out. And, I don't really consider that restaurant a third place, but, it's also that. It's also the effort in reaching out that I think people have kind of lost. Um, anyway, there was other things that I wanted to bring up too, but yeah, I really appreciated that. Rock climbing has been another third place for us where we're meeting a lot of people, and we've met this another beautiful person that again came to us specifically and wanted to go outdoor rock climbing with us. And I have all the outdoor rock climbing stuff now, so I'm like really excited about that. But again, another person who put in the effort to ask, and it's not even that much effort. Like, me and Raven were really easy to get along with, and I feel like we're inviting, and it's not often that people come to us asking for, like, put in the effort to ask us to hang out. Like, we've done it a lot, and sometimes it doesn't get reciprocated. So it almost feels easy when somebody else puts in the effort, because we're almost always like, yes, like, let's do this. This is awesome. Anyway, so yeah, just like a lack of third places. And I think this is a good outlet, especially for adults. Okay, one thing, it's a little pet peeve. Um, I guess it's a couple mixed together, but like, I work a lot of hours, like anywhere between 10 and 12 hours a day, sometimes more, right? And this is not me blaming anybody. It's not putting anybody down, but it's really hard for me to find time to do things most of the time, right? And a lot of the people that work 8 hours a day will complain about not having enough time when they get home. And to me, that's really frustrating to hear. Now, I can agree with you, actually. Like, and this is why I'm not putting anybody down for saying this, but there's much more time in the day than what most people try to, excuse. But you can make time. You can make time. It's I know that some people can feel exhausted from an 8-hour day, especially if you're on your feet the whole time. Like, trust me, I get it. But I think it's also like almost a lack of effort on a lot of people's terms. It's hard to explain, but I think we could put in more effort for ourselves and for other people, and I think that there is time to do that. Um, but anyway, that was a sidetrack. That's just a tiny bit of a pet peeve, which nobody cares about. So, the last thing that I wanted to bring up is I am getting an extreme, like, pull to change my lifestyle, because I've been doing amazing. I wouldn't say amazing. I've been doing good about keeping a good schedule. My sleep schedule's teetering right now. I could definitely be doing better on that. My workout schedule, I'm keeping up with it, but that's also lacking a little bit. But I'm also planning for things. I'm planning for my cousin's graduation. I'm from Space Force Tech School. I'm planning for my birthday, which I did not expect to be planning for until like probably 3 days ago. And that'll be awesome because I'll be able to hang out with a lot of my friends, going rock climbing and camping and stuff. But with all of this being said, I'm really kind of in this weird mindset transitional phase. I'm getting my debt paid off first of all, because I've had it for so long, and now I've only got credit card debt and my tires that I have to pay off now. And this is getting me thinking about um, what can I do to like downsize my life where one, I'm either doing the same job that I'm doing right now and I can downsize our living situation. And yes, we would go from a house to like maybe an apartment or an extremely affordable house that like, barely, I don't know. We're just kind of bringing up the thought now. But another thing is changing my career. I'm really thinking about doing that soon. And I do know that I would probably take a pay cut in doing so. Depending, I may not. I may not take a pay cut, but I'm really. I think the only reason I'm thinking that I might take a pay cut is because I'm almost like downplaying my abilities, and my career, the entry level for my career actually makes a decent amount. Um, and most people don't like, and it's sad to say that most people don't make as much as what I do. Like I am like lower middle class, I would say, which I am blessed for, but at the same time, it's like all it did is I'm spending way too much time at work, and my debt's pretty much almost paid off now. So it gave me that, and I'm very grateful for that. But one thing that I don't have a lot of time of now is time. I don't have much time in my weeks, and that's a double-edged sword. So I have my bills paid, my debt's paid, but like, where's the time for myself? Where's the time for my partner? Where's the time for a family if we decide to have a family? Where's the time for my friends? It's almost non-existent. Like, I go to work, like I wake up at 3. Like those of you that watch this channel know that I wake up at 3. Right now it's like 4:30. I'm gonna have to wrap this video up here in a second, but I felt like this was important. So I wake up at 3 so that I can either get a walk or a workout in the morning. And then after that, I'm like kind of scrounging down breakfast so that I can get to work at 5. And then I work for anywhere between 8 and most of the time it's 10 to 12 hours, if not more. But yeah, anywhere from like 8 to 14 hours a day. Sometimes I don't know how long I'm going to work. Sometimes I get off work at 1 o'clock. Sometimes I get off work at 7 p.m. when I started at 5 a.m. It's hectic, and I can't really plan anything in that time. Like I get home and I barely have enough time for myself, let alone anybody else, or even my chores, like doing my laundry. This leads to like a situation that I'm in right now where like I want to play games with my wife before I go to bed, and I'm honestly kind of neglecting other things. But it's like, you go for so long, like months, without having any of that and staying disciplined, and I'm sorry, but you just get to a point where you want to do something for yourself. But I'm getting to this point where it's like, is the time that I'm sacrificing worth the money currently? Now, it was for like a whole year and a half. It took me a long time to get to the point where I'm like almost debt free now. I'm so close. And worth it. Stepping stone, trying to do better in my life. Like, let's kick my own ass to get in gear and do this stuff. But now it's at the point where, like, I want to do things. You know what I mean? And, like, it's tough sometimes. And like, I'm okay. Even therapy has helped, wrap my mind around all of this, and, advocating for myself because I'm trying to take care of my health too. And I'm sorry, but working, 12 hours a day, just, it's not healthy. It's really not mentally or physically healthy to be a truck driver. It's just not. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if there's another truck driver that watches this and they're like, oh, stop being a pussy, stop being a bitch. I don't care. I don't care about what you think. The whole put your head down and just keep going only works for a certain amount of time before you want to, I don't want to say the words, before you want to off yourself, and I don't feel that way, but I can understand how others would feel that way. And I'm just ready to change it. I'm ready to change it now. In the past, whenever I would get to a point like this where I want to change my career or I'm getting tired of my job, it would put me into this extremely negative mindset, and I would stop putting in as much effort at work. I would start slacking off basically and trying to find something else. Now, this job that I'm doing is easy enough and tolerable enough where I don't feel that. I feel like I am still putting in effort to my job, and I actually do appreciate the people that I work with. That's a key. But yeah, it's like I'm ready to change, man. Even if I take a pay cut, even if I have to downsize my house, even if I have to pay for storage for my boat and a bunch of other things, or get rid of stuff that we just really don't use, like, I'm getting into that mindset because my time is so much more important. And yes, I need money. Yes, like we have to exist off that. It kind of sucks, but this is the system that we live in, and we do have to survive. So, adaptability is also important, but to be able to minimize our stress and our ability to actually live in this world, but still doing what you love. I'm actually thinking about potentially going into film school. Not that I have a passion for doing film, but I would like to make videos. I would like to understand how to do that as a career path for, say, YouTube or content creation like I'm doing now. Like, this is just me setting up a phone and talking, but I could do so much better with this, right? And obviously it's going to take money, learning how to do it, and buying the equipment, like the lighting, the camera, all of that stuff. I understand that there's going to be a financial commitment to it, but if I can get good enough where I could do this basically full time, on my own and for my partner so that she's making income, that would be kind of cool. And then I wouldn't have to put in nearly as much time. I think the key word is efficiency. So I know that when I get into it, it's going to be difficult, and I'll be spending a lot of time on it, but that's okay. I'm okay with taking that, like that. That's an understanding that I know that I'll have to do. But at least we will be able to go out and do things that we want to do, and spend that time with friends, travel more, and we're still making money, But again, downsizing our living situation so that we're not spending nearly as much on our rent or potentially our bills, all that stuff, so that I can save up and have that safety nest to where I could go to school, right? Like, I don't know. It's just like I'm really, really starting to think about this stuff now, and all of this is so that I can save time. Time for myself, time for my family, and in return, hopefully I can make a better financial situation for myself and my wife as well. So these are just like a lot of the thoughts that are going on in my head. But yeah, one thing that I'm doing here really soon, I just got the time off approved for it, and I need to go and get the tickets now. But my cousin graduated So I'm gonna fly out to California and pick him up, and we're gonna drive back out here to Colorado together. And I'm gonna take my rock climbing stuff with me, and I'm gonna try and find a route that we can climb on the way out here. So that's exciting. And then for my birthday, I want to go out to California, close to. So I don't want to say too much, but I want to go camping and I want to hang out with friends. I wasn't expecting to do that, but my friend told me, "Hey, your idea is awesome. Why don't we do it for your birthday?" And I was just like, I just started doing a little bit of logistics, and I was just like, I think we can make this happen. So thinking about doing that, hanging out with some friends that I haven't seen in a really long time too. I've been playing Arc Raiders with him recently, and I'm like, you better make it. I'm gonna be sad if you don't make it. But I know this was a longer video, but this is a lot. I haven't done my 3 a.m. update in a long time, so I wanted to get on that. But yeah, thought dump. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Have a good rest of your morning.